In this video, I'm going to share with you my 5 top tips for starting a small business or side hustle. Starting a small business can seem really overwhelming. It seems like there's a lot to think about and it's something that we're never taught. My name's Millie and I've been running a small business called Blink Lettering for the past 6 years. During those 6 years, I have actually been working full time at the same time, and I have learned so many things along the way that has helped me grow my business. And now I have 5 actionable steps for you to help you start your own small business or side hustle, whichever you want to call it. I personally prefer small business as it kind of makes it feel like you're putting a lot more into it. Although I've run my business alongside my full-time job for the past 6 years, it's not just been a side hustle, it's been like my blood, sweat, tears, my soul. So I feel like calling it a small business over a side hustle makes it feel like people take you that little bit more seriously, but that could just be my opinion. Okay, let's dive in to these 5 steps. Number 1 is to set up a business bank account. You might feel like it's totally unnecessary to set up a business bank account when you're not even bringing any money in, but this can help you so much when it comes to doing your tax return. More on that later. A business bank account doesn't have to be scary, and with the rise of a lot of challenger banks, it has made it so easy to apply for a business account just from your phone. When I first started my business, I was using a bank account called Coconut, which was specifically for UK small businesses. It was a very new bank, so there was a lot of features that were still in like testing mode. Eventually, I personally felt that my business outgrew it, and they did start looking to charge people a monthly fee of £5 a month. And I don't know, I felt like I wanted to move to a different bank account that kind of suited me more as a business. So in January 2020, I switched over to a bank called Starling, and I haven't looked back since then. I love the different pots that you can create on there. So you're able to split your money up. So I have one for tax, one for profit, one for personal. And it just helps me be more organized with my money and make sure that I'm not spending it all on business things when I need to pay tax. The app is really easy to use, although it has had a recent update, so it is looking slightly different to what I'm used to at the moment. But I like how it can show you your overall expenses and your overall income. And it also filters into the different kinds of business expenses as well. They do have a business toolkit, which I did sign up to when it first came out, and I signed up to the free trial. But I found that it didn't link up very well with Etsy, and that is something that is massively important for me. Etsy's quite complicated with lots of different fees, so I personally decided to stick with QuickBooks, which I have been using for years and years and years. I absolutely love QuickBooks, and I'll chat a little bit more about that later as well. I've also recently opened up a Monzo business account, so I've just gone full-time self-employed, and with this new step in my career, as well as running my business Blink Lettering, I'm also going to be freelancing as a graphic designer, and I've decided that I want to split those 2 things up, and one of the easiest ways to do that is have 2 separate bank accounts for these 2 different areas of my businesses. So I decided to open up a Monzo business account for my freelance design work. Part of the reason I went with Monzo is because I already have a personal account which I use for my day-to-day spending and paying my bills, and I'll be getting quite a lot of money from my freelance work, so I figured it was just the easiest way to be able to move my money around for when I need it for personal stuff like paying the mortgage or paying the bills. So for Starling, I don't pay anything at all, but I think if you upgrade to the business toolkit, that's when you start paying a monthly fee. But it's worth it because it kind of organises all your money and your expenses, so it helps you with your tax return basically. In terms of Monzo, there is a free version and a paid version. So the paid version is £5 a month, and I actually use the paid version. This is because it means that I can send invoices directly from Monzo, which is super helpful when it comes to doing all of my freelance design work. It also means that I've set up pots similar to Starling, so tax, personal, profit. And what Monzo do is that every time money comes in, you can automatically ask for a percentage to go into a pot. So it's great for putting aside tax money, and you don't even have to think about it. So I've set up his percentage, and whenever money comes in, it will automatically filter that out for me. So if I forget, then I don't need to worry. It's done it already. Whereas with styling, I do need to do it manually. Okay, tip number 2 or action number 2 is get involved with the small business community. I know this sounds a bit random because it might not be your target audience or target market, but the small business community is amazing. Everyone is so lovely. Everyone is willing to share, not just tips, but also beautiful work that you've created as well. So when you've thought of your business name and you've set up an Instagram account, go and follow other small businesses that inspire you. There's also some really fab Facebook groups out there. Look for local ones in your area. I'm part of my Etsy Dorset team Facebook group, or you could look for just the wider community small business Facebook groups as well. There's also some people who have amazing Patreons that you can pay to sign up to, but people like Emily Harvey Art, her Patreon is just perfect for small businesses. She has so much incredible content on there already, from podcasts, videos, tutorials, talking about her own experiences, but also getting experts involved in some of the live calls as well. So if you want to kind of dive into even more detail that you might not necessarily find on YouTube, then I really recommend looking for kind of small business, I guess, influencers. That's probably not the right word, but basically people who are really supporting other small businesses, lifting them up, cheering them on. So one thing that I didn't really do before I started my business, but if I were going to start a business right now, is start talking about my business before properly launching. So this kind of works whether you're a service or a product business, but I would get Instagram set up or any social medias that you plan on using and start sharing the journey, start sharing the process of you setting up a business bank account and designing products and ordering from suppliers. Like, share that process, share that behind the scenes, because then it starts building your own community. So when it comes to the launch, you've already got an audience. Someone who did this really well, and I started following her quite close to the beginning of her journey, is a lovely person called Meg, who has a business called Fizz and Flourish. And she was doing studio vlogs on YouTube, sharing stories on Instagram, sharing loads of posts. So by the time she launched, she had like an amazing audience and her launch went really well. So if I were to set up a business now, that's definitely something I would do. In terms of my business journey, it was a little bit more organic. I guess I kind of did this in a way. So I actually set up an Instagram, Blink Lettering, to document my calligraphy journey. So I was sharing my calligraphy work back from when it was not very good at all. And then this kind of slowly transitioned into a business. I never had kind of a business launch. I just started bringing in products quite slowly. So some Christmas cards. And then over time, it's just snowballed. But if I were to intentionally start a business now, then my actionable step would be to get involved with the community and start sharing. Of course, getting involved in the community isn't just about following people, so make sure you engage in people's content, share people in your stories that you love, reply to their stories, message them, chat to them. One thing I will say is don't just randomly reach out to someone and be like, hey, could you share loads of small business tips with me? I don't know where to begin. Because they don't know who you are. You might have been following them for a while, but they still don't necessarily know who you are. And they have spent a lot of time and effort to get to a point where they know their stuff. I personally am willing to share little tips here and there with people I don't know. But when it comes to my friends, especially my small business friends, I'm an open book. I'm happy to chat all day long, but it's all about building that trust. So do reach out to people, chat to them, say hi, tell them you love their products. But if you're going to ask for advice, then just be careful with how you go about doing that. There are some amazing Facebook groups out there where you can just go ahead and ask for advice straight away. But build those friendships. make some friends with some lovely small business people, especially people who sell similar products to you. You don't have to be enemies or against each other. You could lift each other up and inspire each other. Step number 3 is understanding how tax works. Now, this probably sounds really boring and a little bit scary. I'm not going to go into too much detail about how it does work because it is so different in every country. So I only really know how it works in the UK, and that's all I can kind of advise on. I'm not an accountant, so I can't give proper advice. So go ahead and do your research. Go on Google. There's so many resources online. And if it is possible in your country, then call up your local tax authority. So for us in the UK, it's HMRC. They're really friendly. I've asked so many questions in the past. The only time I'd recommend not to call them is January, because that's when everyone's doing their tax return. So everyone is trying to call them. So if you have any questions and it's the summer, then give them a call. Make sure you write down all the questions that you want to ask beforehand so you don't forget anything. But they are really helpful. They're not out there to steal your money or scam you or scare you. Like, they're there to help. You can, of course, speak to friends who might be running small businesses already, and this kind of works nicely with getting engaged with the community. There might be people who are sharing tips about this. Obviously, don't take 100% legal advice from anyone who isn't an accountant or financial advisor, but it can be massively helpful to chat to people because they may be able to talk about it more on your level where it's not as scary, basically. And if in doubt in terms of your taxes, keep all of your receipts. I'll say that again, keep all of your receipts. I have a folder that I just shove all my receipts in. I wish I was a little bit more organised. That is something that I want to do this year, but just keep all of them. Obviously not that donut that you bought the other day in Tesco because you were hungry. All of your business expenses. Keep track of everything. Keep all emails that have receipts on them. So when it comes to doing your tax return, if you don't feel confident enough to do that yourself, but you hire an accountant, you have everything and you can give it to them. There's also lots of different accounting software that you can actually snap photos of your receipts, so you can make it a little bit more digital. I personally use QuickBooks. I don't tend to use the receipt photo function very often. I just, like I said, have a folder of all my receipts. But that can really help remind you of things you might have bought on specific transactions. QuickBooks is a great piece of accountancy software. I pay, I think it's £7 a month, and for me that's really worth it. I quite like maths and numbers, so I've never been too scared of doing my actual tax return, but a lot of accountants will want you to use a piece of software like that anyway, so it's definitely worth looking into. Okay, this step might not apply to everyone watching this, but it's to invest in your business while you have a secure income. I've referred to setting up a small business in this video as a side hustle, so you're probably watching this because you already work full-time or part-time and you're looking to set up a small business. If this is the case, then I would look at reinvesting your money into the business to help you buy equipment and tools and anything else you might need to help your business grow. It means that you can buy expensive equipment without having to worry about whether you can afford your bills, because you can use your full-time or part-time income to sustain you. And then you can see your business money as extra money that you can use to inject into your business, grow it, and therefore earn more money. So as I've already said, I've actually been working full-time for the whole 6 years I've been running my business. I've only just quit my job, and that has enabled me to buy so many pieces of equipment that I need for this job. My MacBook, the camera and microphone I'm using right now to record this video, printers. I have managed to invest into my business, and therefore now I've quit my job. I don't need to worry so much about buying lots of expensive equipment. I've also used that money to invest in courses to help me learn and grow as a small business owner. If you're looking to start a business without the support of regular income, perhaps you've recently become unemployed or you're just coming out of maternity leave, then I really recommend you look at something called Profit First. This is a book, but you can also listen to it on something like Audible. And it's a method that I've been using quite a while. It has meant that I have put profit aside in my business that I can then in turn use to invest back into my business. If you're interested in a video about profit first and how I've been using it in my business to boost my income and to help me pay my taxes, then let me know in the comments below. The fifth and final step is just get stuck in. I know it can seem a little bit daunting to start a business, but just take that leap. You don't need to do everything all in one go. So it's just best to get started and learn as you grow. I've had so many product flops, order issues, technical issues, and every time something like that happens, I just see it as a learning curve. Even now, after 6 years of business, I'm still worried about things or unsure about things, but that's totally okay. You're not going to know everything straight away. Hopefully these tips have helped you learn what steps you need to take next and give you the confidence to start your own small business or side hustle. So what are you waiting for? If you're looking to start a small business, then get started now. And if you do start a business, I'd love to see what kind of business you've created. So let me know what it is in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it super helpful. And if you did, then please give it a massive thumbs up. If you'd love some more small business videos like this, then let me know the kind of videos you like in the comments and also hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.